Hello, it's Joe Mitchell with the 10-Minute Educator, and I'd like to welcome you to the show. In 10 minutes, we get to the heart of some very important matters, and I give you actionable steps to take to move your business forward, move yourself forward. Tonight, we're going to be talking about business and steps to create a stress-free business. Now, a lot of the people that listen to this are actually business owners. And if you're a business owner, this stuff is going to be useful to you. If you're not a business owner, it's still going to be useful to you. So pay close attention, because what is given here in the business context can be applied in other contexts as well. But I'm really interested in you who have a business and are stressing a little bit more than you'd like to. So let's get started. My name is Joe Mitchell. I am a high performance coach as well as a tapping expert, a best-selling author of my book here, The Art of Joyful Achieving. And I am also a Harvard-educated attorney. So I had a lot of experience in business, especially as a solo. And so I'd like to share that with you tonight a little bit and talk about steps to a stress-free business. Wow. And the picture of this woman is actually the picture that depicts what it's like to be an entrepreneur sometimes. There are things coming at you from all directions, which you have to pay attention to. It's not about, well, can I or should I? You have to pay attention to these things. And if you're in a certain stage where you're the only one, you've got to pay attention to everything. And so that's a little tricky sometimes, that you're paying attention to sales and marketing, to operations, to any kind of delegating things that you do, to taking care of the office, to signing up new clients, to doing all kinds of stuff. So it could stress you out. It can just get you to the point where you're saying, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So let's talk about that and let's get into it a little bit. So here is an amazing concept, and this is the concept that I want you to embrace, not only in your business, but in your life. This is a concept that the people who are really happy in life, they really strive to do this because this is operating in your genius zone. Do what you love and let everything else go. Now, of course, that's easier said than done, but that's the intention that you are doing. You're spending your day. And that's why sometimes when you have a 9-to-5, when you don't have a 9-to-5 job and you're working for yourself, that the reason that you did that is because you wanted to do what you love. You wanted to have a passion project. You want to have something that you were really passionate about, that you really loved. And that is now about, well, how do I let everything else go? That's a little bit tricky. Well, let's look at some of the ways that we can do that. Now, I'm actually going to do a longer webinar on this in about 10 days to 2 weeks. And it's about 10 days or so. And it's going to be steps to have a stress-free business. And it's going to be for solopreneurs, small business owners who are stressing because they're wearing too many hats. They've got too many things coming at them. And I'm going to show you some ways to stress less and have a stress-free business. Can you imagine that, having a stress-free business? Just think about it. You're doing what you love and you're not stressing. Is that the goal of so many entrepreneurs? And so many entrepreneurs are quitting, are just kind of discouraged, or not making the money they need to make. There's all kinds of things that are happening that keep you out of that zone. But that's what our goal is. Okay. So here's the thing. You've got to look at, well, what is it that I don't love? And then consider scrapping it, automating it, or outsourcing it. The three things that you can do with the stuff that you don't love. Now you may say to me, well, I don't have enough money to do that. Well, your hourly, you have an hourly rate. You have a rate that you are, if you look at how much money you make, this is your hourly rate. If you are doing very mundane tasks at your hourly rate, you're probably somebody who should outsource some things, or maybe not even do them. So let's see, scrapping it, automating it, or outsourcing it. So what is your pleasure? Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to kind of identify these things, because when we put them on paper, when we really identify them, then we can actually start to look at, well, what can we do about them? How can we reduce their impact on us? How can we lessen the time that we spend on them? How can we outsource them or get rid of them completely? So what you want to do is you want to write down every single task that bores you to death, makes you forget that you need to do it. I hate dealing with administrative stuff. I don't like dealing with cards and entering them in. I'm not really great. I'm very good at financial stuff, but I don't like to do it. Makes your stomach knot up at the thought of tackling it. Ordering supplies. Again, not something that I really love. So that is, doing the technical side of things. I'm not bad at it. It's just that I don't love it. And some things will make you procrastinate because you don't love it, or it makes you feel stressed. Write down these things. Take a screenshot of this right now and write down these things. Okay. So when you look at these things now, you want to reevaluate them and say, can I automate it? Can I outsource it? Or can I scrap it all together? And really honestly go into that. So let's talk about the first one, automate that. What does that mean, automate? Okay, what does that mean to automate something? That means that you get software, generally a system, where you don't have to do the thing. And it might be, there are some amazing systems. And as I said, in this webinar that I'm about to go in, that I'm about to do in about 10 days, I will go into some of these systems that you can put into your business. If you're a solo lawyer, one of the things that I used for many, many years was a tool called Clio. And it enabled me to enter all of the cases and enter all of the dates and all of the information about my clients, information about other parties. I could automate everything. I wasn't just kind of going all over the place. And I really enjoyed it. It was really something that I could just feel good about. I could just go there and I knew where everything was. So automation, and there's a lot of those things in terms of social media posts and also in terms of outsourcing, because that's the second thing that's really important is outsourcing, getting yourself a virtual assistant, getting yourself in a position where you can have a virtual assistant or an intern. Sometimes one of the things that I had in many, many, many years of my law practice were interns who really helped me to figure things out and get things done. And they weren't employees. They were working for either school credits or I gave them a little stipend, but they learned. They were learning. They were in the learning mode. They were being mentored. So you don't have to necessarily hire this virtual assistant at $70 an hour. And if you want to, you can get a virtual assistant. Like I have a virtual assistant for my finances, for my bookkeeping. And I don't even pay him $10 an hour. Why? Because he lives in Pakistan. And $10 an hour there is like $25 an hour here. So you can outsource it in different places. And then scrap it all together. Sometimes that's a, you say that's a little risky to scrap it all together, but sometimes that is the best thing, especially if you have a lot of stuff that's been sitting around and not being get done. It might be good just to take it, look at it, and then chuck it. So that is our 10-minute educator for tonight. And this is here's your assignment. Write down every task that bores you to death, that makes you forget that you need to do it, makes your stomach knot up, you don't like it, you procrastinate about it, all of these things. And then take a look with the eye to outsourcing it, automating it, or scrapping it. So there you have it. That is a stress relieving strategy. Okay. You don't love it. If you don't love it, don't do what you love and let everything else go. Would you be willing to commit to that strategy? Do what you love and let everything else go, because that is where your power lies. So I want to thank you very much for being here with me tonight. And I want to say that I have a bunch of goodies, free goodies for you on my site at activateyourgreatness.com. And please go over there and get a few chapters of my book and some other very, very special goodies. And also, feel free to join me any night that you like on the 10-Minute Educator. I'm on YouTube and I'm also on Facebook Live. And each day has a special theme. Tomorrow we're going to do affirmations. So we'll use affirmations and a little bit of tapping to help you to do what you love and let everything else go. So thanks a lot for listening to me. This is Joe Mitchell. Whether you're listening in the morning or the afternoon or the evening, I thank you for being here and hope that this was useful to you. Have a great day, evening, morning, whatever it is. Enjoy.